Welcome to Nagano. Which proudly hosted the 1998 Winter Olympics and stands as a vibrant center of traditional Japanese culture and cuisine. From visiting some of the oldest and most significant temples in Japan, walking through a mysterious pitch-black underground tunnel, and reliving the iconic moments of the 1998 Winter Olympics, to exploring a hidden ninja village in the forest, tasting sake at a local brewery, and trying freshly handmade soba noodles right on site. If you're looking for a journey that's authentic, down-to-earth, and deeply Japanese, then this travel documentary is made just for you. Discovering Nagano's journey. We began our morning adventure with a stroll along Nakamise Street, one of the most historic pathways in Nagano. The street is always bustling with activity, lined on both sides with traditional wooden houses, souvenir shops, cozy cafes, sweet bakeries, and numerous artisan stalls. Along the way, we came across a charming little pastry stand. A sign proudly announced that the apples were grown on farms right in Nagano Prefecture, while the milk and butter came from nearby local dairies. We really appreciated how they highlighted the use of local ingredients, fresh, clean, and traceable. Each pastry was priced around $4.30, a fair deal for the quality and taste offered. The place had a simple, clean atmosphere. We ordered 2 portions of baked apple pie, with a lightly crispy crust and thick slices of juicy Nagano apples inside. It was topped with a mild salted caramel sauce and a sprinkle of crunchy roasted corn. After enjoying the pastries, we continued walking towards Zenkoji Temple, one of Japan's oldest and most sacred Buddhist structures, dating back to the 7th century. The temple is primarily built from dark wood, adorned with intricate carvings, and what makes it truly special is the belief that it houses the first Buddha statue ever brought to Japan. The original statue is kept hidden away and is only displayed publicly once every 6 years. Sadly, our visit did not coincide with that rare occasion, but simply setting foot in such a sacred place was already impressive enough. We passed through the ancient Sanmon Gate, a dark wooden structure with a distinct curved roof. You can climb to the 2nd floor for a panoramic view of the temple grounds and Nagano city from above. The atmosphere up there is tranquil, with only a gentle breeze, the faint scent of incense, and distant temple bells echoing, creating a deeply Asian tableau that is both solemn and serene. Leaving the temple, hunger began to set in, and we happened upon a small local eatery that combined ramen, soba, and a sake bar. The interior was quite compact, with around 6 tables and a counter facing the open kitchen. The aroma of the broth gently filled the air. I ordered a bowl of hot soba and a vegetable tempura set with shrimp. My travel companion chose tonkatsu ramen and a cup of hot tea. While waiting, I glanced around. An open kitchen, rustic ceramic bowls and chopsticks, and a few black and white photos of the house from decades ago hanging on the wall. The food arrived about 10 minutes later. My soba noodles were steaming hot, thick, dark brown, served in a clear broth. The scent of ginger and light fermented miso was noticeable. The tempura came on a separate tray lined with oil-absorbing paper, 2 shrimp, and a mix of pumpkin, carrot, sweet potato, and wild mushrooms. What stood out was the absence of dipping sauce. Instead, a small dish of coarse salt was served. The owner explained this was the traditional way to enjoy tempura, preserving the natural flavors of the ingredients. The soba and tempura set cost around $9.30. Considering the quality, it was a meal well worth it. The atmosphere was calm, with no music, just the sounds of cooking and quiet conversations from a few Japanese diners. After finishing our meal, I went to the counter to pay and noticed a narrow path beside it leading to the back courtyard. A wooden sign read, "Yoshino Sake Brewery, Museum and Tasting Room." I asked the owner and learned it was a family-run sake brewery operating since the Showa era. They had a small museum open to visitors for free with no reservation required. I followed the path inside. The museum was housed in an old wooden building with original timber flooring. Unusually for Japan, no shoes were required inside. Displayed were traditional sake-making tools, wooden barrels, steamers, and washing basins. The walls featured black and white photographs of the early days of the brewery and portraits of previous generations of owners. Every exhibit had bilingual Japanese-English descriptions. After the tour, we were invited to the tasting area. The staff were charming, helpful, and spoke basic English. About 6 varieties of sake were laid out on the shelf, including traditional sake and amazake, a non-alcoholic, milky white sweet rice drink. We sampled each one, with small servings that were just enough to savor the flavors. Amazake intrigued me the most. It had a gentle sweetness, a clean aftertaste, and a soft aroma of fermented rice, unlike any drink I'd tried before. According to the staff, amazake is especially popular in winter, considered healthy, and even suitable for people who don't drink alcohol.
Then that becomes this kind of brownish color. Let's see how it tastes.
After tasting, we decided to buy a bottle of amazake as a souvenir. The staff packed it with great care, placing the bottle in a cardboard box, wrapped in shock-absorbing foam to prevent breakage. They even sealed it with a label and wished us a happy trip in English. Such a sweet touch. From the city center, we took a bus to M-Wave, Nagano's Olympic Stadium, which hosted the speed skating events during the 1998 Winter Olympics. The entrance ticket to visit the arena and museum was 300 yen per person, about $2. Walking into the stadium, knowing it once held some of the most historic moments in sports, felt truly special. Within the complex is the Olympic Museum, which displays medals, uniforms, archival photos, and sports equipment from the Games. There's plenty of information about the memorable moments of that Olympic year. Famous names like Gretzky, Jágr, and Lindros are also mentioned. For anyone who watched those games, this visit would surely stir up some nostalgia. We were pleasantly surprised to see young athletes still training on the ice, a reminder that the Olympic spirit continues to live on. The next morning, we planned a day trip from central Nagano to Togakushi. We took the Highland Shuttle Bus, which departs just outside Nagano Station. Easy to find. The route winds through the countryside, passing hills and forests, and the scenery changed gradually from bustling city streets to quiet pine and cedar woods. After about an hour, the bus stopped at a station near the Togakushi Shrine area. Before starting our forest hike, we stopped for lunch at a small roadside eatery. This area is famous for soba noodles, so we ordered hot soba served with oki pumpkin buns. The soba was freshly made, the noodles chewy and just right, served in a hot, flavorful broth that wasn't overpowering. Oki is a simple grilled bun with slightly crispy edges and a soft, sweet pumpkin filling. The meal was humble, but perfectly suited to the cool, crisp mountain climate of this region. After eating, we began a gentle hike along a forest trail leading to the Togakushi Shrine complex. The path was modestly paved, flanked by rows of towering trees. Autumn was starting to show, leaves turning yellow and red, and a light blanket of dry leaves covered the ground. We chose a less traveled side path. There were hardly any tourists here. The forest was very quiet, with only the rustle of leaves and occasional birdsong breaking the silence. An interesting detail. Many Japanese people carry small bells on their belts when hiking. The bells give off a soft, ting-ting sound, not too loud, just enough to scare off wildlife like bears. Locals told us that while rare, Japanese black bears can still be spotted in the area, so the bells are a simple yet effective precaution. After more than an hour of walking, we reached the Togakushi Shrine complex, which consists of 5 ancient shrines, each spaced some distance apart. The path to the main shrine is about 2 kilometers long and lined with towering cedar trees, some likely over 300 years old. Many people come here to pray for peace and protection. Elderly visitors, students, even families with small children. Leaving the shrine complex, we made our way to the Togakushi Ninja Village, a popular attraction in the area. Entrance was 5 per person, and inside, the village was divided into several themed zones. We started with the Ninja House, a maze-like structure designed with hidden doors, sliding walls, and fake traps. You must find your own way out. No filming or photography is allowed. It was a surprisingly tricky experience, not ideal for those in a rush, as we had to backtrack several times after taking wrong turns. It really felt like a full-on escape room challenge. After finally making it out, we visited the Ninja Museum, which displayed weapons, combat tools, and explained ancient ninja stealth techniques. There were detailed illustrations and descriptions of how each item was used. Most of the artifacts were replicas, but still fascinating. The village also had a shuriken, throwing star practice area. Of course, we couldn't resist giving it a try. It wasn't as easy as it looked. The stars were surprisingly light and didn't have the weight you'd expect from action scenes. Still, landing a hit on the target gave us a nice little thrill. At the end of the visit, as the sun began to soften, we sat at a small shop in the village to enjoy some ice cream. They offered matcha, green tea, and chocolate, 2 classic flavors. I picked matcha, my go-to choice every time I visit Japan. It had a strong, slightly bitter taste, the real flavor of tea leaves, not an artificial scent. My friend stayed loyal to the chocolate. We sat on the porch eating ice cream and reflecting on the day's journey. Togakushi isn't often mentioned in major Japan travel tours, and perhaps that's what gives it its charm. If you enjoy nature, peaceful moments, and a touch of lighthearted fun, this is the perfect destination. Just an hour from Nagano, but the landscape, atmosphere, and pace of life here feel worlds apart. The trip ended quietly but memorably. No flashy check-in spots, no crowds, no noise, yet somehow it leaves a lasting impression. That's why I always find myself wanting to return to Nagano. If you found this content helpful, Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you won't miss our next travel guide.